the other games today, being Avondale beating Essendon Royals 4-2. Big victory for Box Hill, 5-1. And then last night we had FC Gaween Lions 1, Brentwood Greens 0, and Spring Hills 1, Heidelberg United 0. And that was a game, to be fair, that probably put Spring Hills in touch in the top 6. So I'm looking forward to the game, Ethan, and good luck with the call.
And this one certainly for Preston carries a long awaited away trip here. They lost the earlier meeting this season at home at BT Connor Reserve. Alamein ran out 3-0 winners on a terrific day for them. And for the Lions themselves, they have never beaten Alamein at this venue. They are chasing a piece of history for themselves today. Will end a real rut that Preston have found themselves in. We creep closer to kick-off. We'll have a look at the starting lineups.
Okay, for Preston in goal, Charlotte Van Horsson, Shian Dewey, Amy Medwin, Naomi Matsumoto, Yasmin Popovic, Farina Gallara, Alana Philippi, Freya Duffy, Captain Eva Harrington, Mizuni Yamada, and Eric Vitalia. On their bench, they've got some powerful players of real class, and Kristen Malloy, Victoria Momorowski, Holly Massey, Olivia Edwards, backup goalkeeper Amelia Kimball, and Adelia Papaleo finish out the bench for Preston. For Alamein, the starting lineup, Captain Estelle Burgess, Shinasa Shindaria, Savania Anastops-Lopez, Nick Dutson, Samolowski, Emma Reynolds, Jordan Toms-Wedge, Chelsea Blizzard, Priya Archdeacon, Miller Ralph in goal, Miranda Templebury. And on the bench we have backup goalkeeper Olivia Cowan, Renee Jasewski, Satara Kazemi, Harriet Lowry, Lola Montanico, and May O'Brien. We've got a bit of a hold-up here, Ethan. I'm not too sure what's going on. I know that the assistant AR was down there looking at the goals and the goal net to the right-hand side towards where Alamein Angels, as they're now known, Alamein Angels kicking to the right-hand side of our commentary box. AR is having a look at what's going on there. There's quite a bit of rough turf or mud just at the top of that box that Charlotte Van Horsson will be playing in, so that'll be an interesting situation for her, particularly any through balls where the ball's stopped, where the ball's come. But yeah, we'll see how long this hold-up's going to take her.
A little bit of net maintenance, just holding up kick-off. A much awaited start to this game for both of these teams. And for Alamein, well, there's a few teams that have four more formidable on their own patch than they do, hoping to be angelic once again today at home. Haven't lost here in the league, nor dropped a point since April. And Box Hill came here. Heidelberg as well, one of the only other sides to come away victorious from their travels to Dorothy Labour West this season. So one official is happy. The other at this point in time still tending to the goal on the left-hand side of us, both undergoing a bit of inspection. Quite a bizarre start, all things considered.
Without doubt, Ethan. Probably the big question is, particularly after seeing what happened to Essendon Royals earlier today out at Avenger Park, after playing the Night Cup FC quarter-final at the home of the Matildas, with 120 minutes zap Alamein as it seemed to have zapped Essendon Royals earlier today.
There too comes that added pressure of knowing today, given that result for Avondale is now a must-win. They cannot afford another slip-up in pursuit of finals football, as finally all seems to be well and good in Alamein. and the afternoon's entertainment can find itself going at last. Preston chasing an end to a bit of a horrible run of form in all truth recently. Alamein, will that cup heartache transfer itself into the league once more? They went out on penalties in what was a game that went the distance against Essendon Royals in the week. It was one in and of itself of quite a physical nature. It's been an unfortunate theme, this nation this week. Penalty heartbreak for some of those. They will be wanting, though, to get back truly to winning ways. It's been, all things considered, for them a little bit of time since they picked up 3 points in the league. They would have been most displeased that they dropped points away at Bentley last week. Defeated Essendon Royals too the week prior to that in the league. One which halted what had been until that point a good bit of momentum. And they know now, with Avondale's victory, with Burundara starting the day above them too, it is no longer within their hands. That run of form in particular saw them slip from the top 6 and now has them part of the chasing pack, all of whom are seeking finals, as Bugias just had a momentary slight bobble, was able to steer it back for Shidara. Quite a few rotations from that team in the week as well, to see and ensure that today won't follow the same script for Essendon as it did earlier. They won't want themselves to be victims of the ever-increasing fixture burden. It's given away, though, by Dustin. Preston themselves wanted to make a bright start to this game. Matsumoto looked to steer them forward, though wasn't quite able to. It's now their 9th meeting in all competitions, the 8th in the league. 3 wins each, 2 draws. So whoever comes out to be victorious today will share the historical spoils as well for the afternoon. This a real opportunity for Alamein to do the double over Preston this season as well, as they really look to gain what could be a season-defining 3 points.
I think this is a crucial game for Alamein, and Coach John at Alamein will have his charges bouncing back from the frustration of losing on penalties during the week. I feel Alamein not only have the class, they have the consistency of players, where we've seen, a little bit of a turnover in players here at Preston. So it'd be interesting to see. We'll see a long ball being played through.
Searching for Lasky, who latched onto it. And her efforts had the sting taken out of it by Popovic, who read it rather well. Anastasopoulos just ensured there was no easy gather and no easy challenge for Medwin. She did get a flick on it. Preston chasing a first away win against Alamein in 2 years. That last one came at the home of the Matildas. It's not been a fortunate fixture for them, as Medwin did well to get out of trouble. Set it back for Dewey. Dropping in was Yamada. Flipped it towards Matsumoto. The Aria will see it out of play. One who, as always, could prove crucial for the host this afternoon. Eve Dustin was at the double last season, as Alamein beat Preston here. There's Yamada. Medwin, the challenge from Anastasopoulos, and it'll fall for Runnels, who can lead the counter. Lasky was up with her and was found smashingly. Lasky in behind has steered Alamein ahead in next to no time. Gorgeous ball from Emma Runnels, who split the Lions open. Lasky latched on and steered with composure to give Alamein a lead on a Saturday afternoon that for them could already prove crucial.
A wonderful build-up and transition by Alamein. Emma Runnels, just what a footballer she is in NPLW. Lovely through ball, found Lasky breaking lines, and it was a tremendous finish. Didn't really give Charlotte Van Harrison much opportunity to tell her to stop that. So great start to Alamein, and I think sadly for Preston, Ethan, we're going to see a few more goals like that today.
Those two, quite the 1-2 punch as well. Formed a dynamic duo. Alamein off to the perfect start. It was incisive, it was razor sharp. Roberts timed well by Lasky too. She was again given one to chase. That time the ball too heavy, Popovic across. Alamein are in a hurry. Ronald dropped it off for Archdeacon, who set it for Dustin. For Shidara. Bugias, passed by Iaria, moved it on for Anastasopoulos. It was just out of the reach of Ralph. On for Dewey. Yamada. Medlin. No way beyond Anastasopoulos, who went and picked her pocket. Three were arriving. Set to the back post for Lasky. Nodded away by Ditella. And they give it away to Dustin. Dewey unable to get further forward. Alamein enjoying a really good early spell.
I didn't know I had to do that.
Gorgeous footwork and a drive to the near post from Chelsea Blissett. Just adds too much height on it. She, of course, one of their mid-season arrivals to bolster the ranks. At her first real opportunity to get forward.
Ethan Summerlasky here at Alamein, and Sloane Young at Avondale. Two of the better Americans I've seen in the competition for a very long time, and Lasky's been a wonderful contributor to Alamein all year. Touch of class, finishing well, very similar to Sloane Young. So I'd be shocked not to think that both of those players would be pushing to be in the NPLW Team of the Year, one on each wing. They're just so dominant, quick players with great techniques, and have scored many goals this year.
As for particularly those two Americans, all Americans around. Both the Senol National Premier League Women's and the Senol National Premier League Men's as well. A happy Independence Day to them. Saturday the 4th of July. A special day for the land of the free, the home of the brave. As here is Lasky once more. Already marked this day with a tidy finish. It took a bobble ahead of Runnels, which allowed Yamada to come across and clear. Archdeacon and Runnels ran into each other, then she dived in. Dewey got it. As Filipovic was fouled and retrospectively wins a free kick. Preston seemingly settling. Having been struck quickly. Dewey went to drive it. Priya Archdeacon charged down well. Lasky got up. Two to contend with, and both Ditella and Harrington were happy to see it out of play. Blissett couldn't quite clear. Harrington whipped it in. Bugias was there. Her clearance with improvisation from Popovic. And now Lasky, who can have a look at Harrington. Rolled it on for Runnels. Archdeacon took over. That's a tidy clip as well. And Lasky waited on Ralph, who has got Ditella to charge at, though had run out of room before looking to have a go. Side who have kept 8 clean sheets in the league this season. Alamein looking for a 9th today. Only Essendon Royals, Bulleen and South Melbourne, 3 of the top 4, have conceded fewer than them this season. It's been a campaign that's been built on defensive rigidity and ability to keep clean sheets, to close games out, more importantly, and seize them where they are. So side who in their first few years in the Senol National Premier League Victoria Women's were a frequenter of finals football. They're looking to get back there. It's been a little while. They know a win today gets them well on their way. Blissett Velasquez, who lunged. Archdeacon couldn't steer it further. Duffy lost out, though it'll fall for Filipovic, who will steer it on for Iaria smashingly. She's got Bugias in retreat. Preston flooding forward. Iaria did superbly to get away from Bugias, though not beyond Ronalds. And now Archdeacon can carry. Went to thread for Ralph. It'll find its way there via a ricochet. Anastasopoulos. Clever. Blissett got it out from under her feet, just in time to get away from Ditella. She in turn kept her cool as Shidara will spear it on for Anastasopoulos, who has got the other side of Medwin. Anastasopoulos tried to keep it alive in vain. Yamada couldn't clear further. Then Archdeacon, who took over. Away from Iaria. Now marching at Medwin. And once more, Amy Medwin did rather well. Shidara's touch. Dustin unable to take over. And now Filipovic, who will thread tidily for Ditella. Preston again can counter. Erica Ditella, who steered to the near post though. He lacked any sting and ran out of room. Templeman wants to collect for a goal kick, though she's had a couple of runs already. As Ditella at Jordan Tom's wedge. And the two Alamein centre halves already having a bit to do. As Blissett couldn't quite keep that alive.
Just wonderful cover defence by Emma Reynolds. Basically playing high as a 9, but she rotates through the midfield. She was the one who worked so hard back into her own penalty box to put the pressure on Fiorina Eraria, who's a wonderful player, a former Melbourne Victory product, and just says so much about the work rate of Emma Reynolds and how they all play here at Alamein. Archdeacon works hard. You know, they've got a lot of pace, and they're being rewarded here by some fantastic defensive efforts.
Filipovic moved it on for Medwin to drive. Stayed on for Duffy, who's got away from Archdeacon. And then went through Dustin. Freya Duffy kept going, twisting and turning away from 2. Set it on for Sian Dewey. Slid centrally by Ditella. He was away from Matsumoto. That post run was always asking a lot of Iaria. It was terrifically done. Industrious from Freya Duffy, who got away from 2 that were waiting. As Preston are just starting to ask a couple questions of their own. Alamein will want to withstand as Blissett. Tom's wedge. The other way for Shidara. Bugias had advance. Space opened up for Anastasopoulos. Shidara chose otherwise and clips it in the channel for Ronalds to give chase. Yamada did well. Raharison with tidy footwork. Yamada, Duffy. Medwin, way beyond Bugias. She thought she got a clip. Official thought otherwise. Yamada's clearance. Filipovic will make it work. Duffy. Returned it for Alana Filipovic, who's had a tidy start to this game. Gets once more from Medwin. Archdeacon was backing off. Dewey couldn't find the flick. Archdeacon, Dustin. That's nicely done between those two. Dropped off for Tom's wedge. Blissett. Both Dustin Priya, Archdeacon have both been able to find their way, not necessarily through, but beyond the Preston press so far, as now Dustin's got a yard. Steered it for Ronalds, cleared away by Yamada. Archdeacon got away from 2, and then tiptoed beyond Duffy delightfully. That's a lovely ball for Blissett, who had 2 arriving. Lasky launched in and stolen in the near post for 2. She's got herself an early double. And Alamein are running riot.
Ethan, just Alamein's ability to change the point of attack there. The ball was coming on the commentary side of the pitch. Dutson's looked to move the ball and change the angle. Just a wonderful cut back there by Chelsea Blissett, and Lasky again with her class. Great finish, and the Alamein Angels have two, and Preston yet to score. As the game's going, Ethan, the pitch is getting fairly cut up at the right-hand side of the ground to where Alamein is attacking, and balls like that, just wonderful on a pitch like this. So congratulations to Alamein.
Such a smooth move. The ball from Blissett was blazed across. Lasky simply used the pace. A proper poacher's finish from their number 9, and she is now chasing a first half hat-trick. Alamein in dreamland. And for Preston, the mire deepens slightly. They have got it all to do. Down 2 in a trice. We're an Alamein side who, just up until that point, were having to ward off a good Preston patch. There's Medwin. Duffy. Look to switch for Ditella. Blissett got there first. 2 to charge at. It's cleverly done. Tidy from Blissett. Dustin. Lasky. Oh, gorgeous ball, and Blissett is on the march. Lasky's up on the overlap, on the return. 2 awaiting centrally. Lasky's ball with too much depth, too much loft.
Ethan, we're not seeing any rustiness from Alamein, even though they had that 120-minute encounter during the week in the Nike FC Cup. So back to their Senol NPLW form. To have 2 goals this early in the game is a credit to all the players and their work rate. But just the run they're delivering, particularly Blissett at the minute, the overlap, the movement, it's proving very difficult for Preston Lions to stop and to negate in any way.
It's for a Preston side who have only won twice since the start of May. That rather torrid trend looks as though it's set to continue. Still got plenty of time to get back into this game, though. Alamein have made a red-hot start. It's tidy from Bugias, who had 3 to evade and did so. Shidara, Tom's wedge. And that's a drive. Matsumoto did come across. Making room for Blissett. It's a Preston side who have leak goals this season. Only the bottom 2 have let in more. And they're now 35. With an opportunity with Iaria, who looked to play one for Matsumoto. She'd gone centrally instead of in the channel. Tom's wedge again invited to carry. Ronald's dropped it off. Well, read by Ditella. Tom's wedge, Blissett. Lasky, who went to get it out of feet, was met by Harrington. It's a trend as well for Preston of only 2 clean sheets on the road this season. Once against Melbourne City on Anzac Day. In that rather good stretch of form from start of April to the middle of May, where they lost 1 in 8, but since then that seems to have evaporated with some speed too. As well, one back by Medwin, who fancied a drive. Across the block was Ralph. The area still charging. Medwin will get a look at Dustin this time, and that's a clip to the back post. Blissett the only one waiting. Lasky, who was unable to keep it alive while looking to spin Harrington.
Ethan, in the other game being played concurrently to this one, Keilor Park at 2-0 up versus Melbourne City after 23 minutes. So Keilor, with the signings that they assembled at the window, they're going from strength to strength in the past month. So it's good to see them and their coach Liam Drury doing well currently.
They and Spring Hills now pushing well clear of the drop. Something that Preston will have kept a close eye on, as it still widens the gap between any sort of perceived safety. Matsumoto picked it up, rather on for Filipovic. Ditella cut it back for Iaria, whose touch was tidy. Archdeacon then went to close the door. Duffy, who was charging at Shidara, set it back for Medwin will drive, and Priya Archdeacon was there to get in the way. Bugias across to prevent the corner. Was rather happy to clear.
Yeah, that's good.
Preston still searching for an avenue back into this game. Medwin, Bugias was firm and won a free kick. The slightest bit of imposition. This at the moment for Alamein, perfect way to snap what's been a little bit of a rut in recent weeks. That draw at Bentley Greens last time they graced league action was their first since the second game of the season. They've been a side that have been decisive in their results this campaign. As Dustin dropped in, a patient approach. 2 up, they can dictate. Tom's wedge clipped it on, and it broke for Blissett, who got in momentarily ahead of Harrington. Across the clear was Dewey, though no further than Archdeacon, who went to steer it into the channel. Blissett didn't oblige with a run, was mopped up by Popovic. Matsumoto not up ahead of Tom's wedge. Runnels in retreat, got a touch. Matsumoto then wanting to ward off Blissett, and did rather well to do so. Steered by Harrington for Ditella, recovered by Runnels once more. Shidara. And Tom's wedge once again. Preston will know they have been closed out quite a bit in recent weeks. They have failed to score in 4 of their last 5 league games. A trend they will be wanting to at least buck today. Lasky dropped off to really good effect and was found tidily by Templeman. And now Summer Lasky can motor, though she was out of route as she was shifting through the gears.
Alamein, just their composure to knock it between their centre-backs and full-backs, to sit as deep as they possibly can on the smaller pitch here at Dorothy Labour Reserve. It gives them so much space to play beyond, and gives their runners, particularly at the minute, Lasky and Blissett, absolutely on the coaching bench side of the pitch, running amok, to be fair, and they're doing really, really well. Just the composure, the structure that John Kyrgios has set his team up with, it's really been proven to be so successful. And Alamein, realistically, aren't under a lot of pressure at the moment. They're playing forward as much as they possibly can. Just one thing for Preston, Freya Mills is doing really well, but she's just got to pull the trigger earlier. She's had opportunities at the top of the box a few times. She just needs to look to play the ball as quick as she can for that shot on goal.
Shidara on for Bugias. The tempo of this half has really shifted since That quick fire Summer Lasky double. Alamein flew out of the traps. As Yamada was there to retreat, Ralph went to press. Blissett did likewise. Rahorison searched long. Runnels got up. And Popovic will allow it to trickle back to the keeper. That second goal came just at a crucial time. Preston had settled and were starting to gain a rhythm. Alamein again disruptive, and that's given away for Runnels, who was waiting on the runners. Anastasopoulos went round the outside. Runnels will have a drive. No one went to her. And in the end, Rahorison will get a gather. They all stood off. Time stood still. Runnels maybe just didn't catch it as cleanly as she would have liked.
I think Emma Runnels was a victim of having far too much time, Ethan. She wasn't too sure what she was going to do.
Runnels this time incisive. Anastasopoulos looked to go round the outsides. And Medwin was diligent and then cleared. Preston, though, are under the pump. Archdeacon looked to evade Dewey. Bugias was on the overlap. She's got Iaria and Medwin for company, and those two do well. Iaria unable to clear. Anastasopoulos not as firm as she would like to be. Blissett dropped it for Dustin. It's oh so cool to find Shadara, who gets it back from Tom's wedge. Shadara spearing. Blissett with a good take. Able to thread for Ralph. Well, read by Duffy, who got away from Blissett's challenge, was then met by Dustin, whose footwork was slick and tidy in order to keep it. Dustin on the turn, lost out to Filipovic, who picked her moment well. Titella on the outside, though, with far too much force for Alana Filipovic.
As much as Alamein turned it over there, just their composure to play, trying to find players in the pocket, and Dutson's the perfect example. She's always in and around trying to play in between the lines, and it just gives them such wonderful ability when they do play forward to be playing forward into space and playing forward quickly. It's really impressive, and it continues to be now with another long ball for Savannah.
Speared on for Anastasopoulos. Shadara's ball, a good one. Anastasopoulos teased it to the back post. Ralph went across. Lasky will keep it alive. Ralph then darted in at the near post. Her effort was one which Rahorison wasn't troubled by. I mean, Ralph just got a yard on Popovic and looked to do what Lasky had done earlier, and stealing to score at the near post. Popovic on for Harrington, who was unable to steer for Matsumoto. Tom Swedge happy to see it back for Templeman. It's Preston side as well, who have not necessarily found frequency when it comes to scoring. Teams in and around them are the only ones who have scored fewer. As Runnels was in sharply, they will need to find some firepower if they are to get back into this game. Shadara. Ralph with a good drop-off. Bugias, Anastasopoulos. Really wrestled with Medwin, who did well to go and win it. And dropped it back for Yamada, whose clearance was a little errant.
Loving the combination of the two centre-backs, Tom's wedge and Shadara for Alamein. They're just making so easy for the wide players, whether it's Blissett on one side or captain Estelle Burgess on this side of the pitch. Every time they don't get split, their cover's really strong, they're happy playing balls, as we saw before. Shadara's hit one to Blissett basically from one side of the pitch to the other, which is just outstanding, as we see Archdeacon pushing forward.
was a supporting run for Ralph, who then picked the pocket of Dewey, though not without fouling her. That is where they've looked so dangerous, though. They've been able to press high and prevent Preston from playing out. There's Medwin, no way beyond Anastasopoulos. Never got it back from Dewey. Stayed alive for Anastasopoulos, who Medwin had too much of. Bugias took the free kick with haste. Shidara on for Tom's wedge. Again invited to drive. Again invited Blissett to get forward. Archdeacon away from Popovic. Dropped it off for Blissett once more. Tom's wedge. Dustin. Now Shidara. Ruddles had dropped in momentarily. Wanted to be found. Here's Neve Dustin. Tom's wedge again to carry. Now Lasky found Archdeacon, who rolled it on for Blissett, and she's made a galloping run forward, though the ball had a fraction too much pace and trickled out for a goal kick.
Just unrelenting pressure from Alamein. They continue to try and look for those forward runners, and most of the time, even though the pitch is tight, they're finding them, and particularly on the coach's side of box side of the ground, Blissett and Lasky are just on fire as we see the ball out to Farina Oyara.
Iaria battled with Bugias, who got a foot in the nick of time. Shidara, that's a brilliant clearance, who found Lasky in space. Dustin. Runnels dropped it off for Ralph, who steered it on for Lasky, who is on the charge. Ramada was in retreat, as was Harrington. Lasky's read the angle brilliantly and forced an Alamein corner out of nothing.
We could have seen a first half hat-trick in 33 minutes, Ethan, from Summer Lasky if that one had gone in. As we, again, Shidara's ability to change the angle of play, her just confidence to play the ball into areas where it's just making it so uncomfortable and difficult for the Preston Lions defenders, as we have Chelsea Blissett about to whip in a corner.
Horace was just a little uncertain to sprawl across at the last second. Blissett's take, and it found its way out the other way and onto the back of the net, though not the kind that Chelsea Blissett would have liked. We've seen one directly from a corner this weekend. She fancied a go of her own.
There's nothing like an Olympico to get the crowds and the viewers on NPL TV going. Margot Rabin was very good at that when she was playing the NPLW, as was Alana Jasevsky. We haven't seen that many this year, but when they do go directly, nothing looks better. And listen, a day like this, you never know what could happen. And the way Alamein are playing, nothing would be beyond them.
Dustin drilled it for Runnels. His take was tidy, returned it for Dustin. The other way was Shidara, who has got space and had Anastasopoulos up. Win across, read it well. Again, was swarmed on by three. Tidy return from Dewey. And out by Bugias, which will favour Archdeacon. Dustin. Top for Tom's wedge. Now Blissett. Lasky. Again patient, again measured. For Alamein. Looking for a return to finals football for the first time since 2019. Has been a bit of time since they have played on the grandest stage of the year. They will really be hoping that this season of all seasons is the one where they end that weight. We're close but not quite close enough last campaign. If it is to stay like this for them today, they will be well on the way. It's a good run from Filipovic, and she was really well fouled by Medwin. Filipovic looked to thread it. Shidara was alert to it. Dustin then picked it off, just as Matsumoto was lurking. Templeman for Tom's wedge. Again, Alamein measured. Preston have been happier to sit off, and it's opened up pockets like that for Bugias, who had Anastasopoulos and Ralph converging. Yamada was in the way. One back by Archdeacon. Bugias now. Shidara, that's as cool as you can be, with Matsumoto, who was charging to go and pick it off from her feet. Tom's wedge for Runnels, cut out by Duffy. Archdeacon then in firmly.
Alamein just controlling all the tempo in this game. If they want the ball to move quickly, they do through Tom's wedge and Shidara. Dutson continually gets in those pockets, looks to play forward. If they can't, they'll play with a lot of width to make the ground as big as they possibly can. And every time they get the ball, they're looking for the forward runner, whether it's Blissett, whether it's also Lasky, as they're out again.
Lovely ball from Lasky. Blissett in behind. Runnels a late arriver. Popovic alert to it, and had to be. Cleared no further than Dustin. Runnels again, causing a menace. Tidy ball for Ralph. Popovic once more to clear, though Shidara will be the one to go and gather it. And fancied a drive from range, which Rahorison had good sight of. Did open up though for Shinatsu Shidara. Tidy take from Dustin. Likewise by Archdeacon. Oh, the ball for Anastasopoulos had a bit too much on it. Been a half really for Alamein, where they've started with fury, have since settled to a simmer. There's Tom's wedge, got it from Templeman. Moved it on for Blissett, who has had quite a lot of joy down the left-hand side. This time Ditella puts a momentary stop to that.
Ethan, Preston are just struggling to be able to string passes together, and it's not because of their ability or their technique. It's just that the relentless pressure here from Alamein, and it just continues non-stop.
Popovic once more with a vital intervention. Archdeacon rekindled it, got it back from Blissett. Had 3 to beat and slid it superbly for Ralph, who will have a drive herself and forced a rather fine stop out of Rahorison at the expense of a corner.
Again, Ralph's finding these pockets that I continue to emphasise. It's not an easy thing to do, but Alamein are doing it at will. Again, great coaching by John Kyrgios to set them up as they are playing, because at the moment it's fantastic football to watch. And the ball's basically being camped in the middle of the pitch, just waiting for someone to either make a forward run, normally it's Lasky or Blissett, or find that pocket, whether it's Archdeacon or Miller Ralph at that stage.
Another Alamein corner. Dustin's take to the near post was awkward for Rahorison. Was flicked away by Popovic, set back by Ralph. This time Medwin in the way. Popovic to clear. No, Lasky will recover. Set back for Shidara. Lasky with Dewey to drive at. Steered menacingly. Yamada got a foot in. Filipovic. Away from Blissett, on for Dewey, who speared it out for Iaria. The ball again with just a fraction too much on it. Preston have withstood better than they did in the opening quarter of an hour, where it looked as though Alamein might break through with ease. They've just shown a bit of steel. If they could get one before the break, what it would do for their own prospects. A side who have never won at this ground against this team. Trend at the moment that looks set to continue. Runnels, that's a tidy take. And a really nice drop off as well for Blissett, who again can drive. Popovic got a foot on, which might benefit Lasky. Across was Harrington. No further than Blissett. He's happy to drop back for Tom's wedge. On for Shidara. Stel Bugias. Measured for Runnels, who was unable to spin Yamada. Dustin unable to get there ahead of Matsumoto, who's out the other way for Ditella. Filipovic, who steered it in the channel for Yamada, and the flag eventually was raised.
Just the ball before Ethan at Chelsea. Blissett played to split the fullback and the centre back for Samolaski to run onto. Just such class, and I think Alamein have done extremely well under their president, Kathy Stanopoulos. She's worked really hard with the council, worked with Football Victoria and all their sponsors to make sure they could be, where they haven't been previously. They haven't been able to pick up A-League players in the window, and they've done that this season, and it's paying dividends for them, and it's a real credit to all of them.
So we head into 1 added minutes, right at the close of the first half. Preston hoping that these 60 seconds will be one where they could maximise. There's Popovic, Harrington, Ditella, listed again in well. Tom's wedge, Lasky's flick on, nearly fell fortuitously for Ralph. Popovic recycled through Yamada, who had Anastasopoulos as a problem. Rahorison, who has had a busy half. Popovic's steer, Tom's wedge came across. Ditella, he took a flick off Tom's wedge's hand. This to be the last Preston look, you'd imagine, of the first 45. Taken quickly by Popovic, speared no further than Bugias, helped on by Anastasopoulos. Runnels, Shidara. Returned it for Runnels, flick on for Anastasopoulos. Bugias on the overlap, will get there. Yamada in retreat. There to deal with it in ahead of Ralph. Ledwin and Filipovic. Thought momentarily she may be able to latch on. Oh, across came Tom's wedge. Filipovic went to steer for Iaria and couldn't. Archdeacon. Filipovic went to go and press. Bugias just negated any of the Lions who were waiting to pounce. Tom's wedge, Lasky. Dropping off was Blissett. Those two have linked up really well in this first half. There's Lasky once again, and we'll be about to hit that minute as what was determined, though Ralph is looking to make a late first half foray Fourth official just confirming what we suspected. And there is the final 60 seconds of the first half. Only one to go further. And half that has flowed. Alamein looking for a late third. Dustin clipped it, Medwin across.
To be fair, Ethan, I think Alamein, scoring the second goal after the 15th or 16th minute probably took a lot of the sting out of the game. And I know Preston have been working incredibly hard, but just they're in no rush, Alamein. They're controlling the tempo, they're controlling the ball movement, and they're just making it, not to be mean, nearly a training drill exercise, because the whole time they're just looking to play as much as they can into spaces like right now.
Ralph occupied that space. Popovic got a block in. And then was there to clear to close out a first half that for Alamein could perhaps not have gone more to plan. Samalaski at the double. Stole in at the near post for a second. Finished a delightful move. Was found superbly for the first. And on a day where they must win, on a day where 3 points may feel like 6, at the moment, Sven, they have got themselves in the perfect place.
As it's getting very dark and cold here, Ethan, and it looks like it's about to pour with rain. I think 2-0 at half-time is a fair reflection on the game. At the other game today, Keilor Parker leading 2-0 at half-time versus Melbourne City. But I think Coach Josip will look at his Preston bench, and with the players such as Malloy, Holly Massey and Olivia Edwards, surely they've got to get them out into the pitch. Anyway, to all the Shino viewers watching the game, we'll join you back after half-time.
As we go to the break in Alamein, so far the hosts are where they want to be. It is Alamein 2, Preston 0.
Yeah. Unless the only area with cover is pretty much, you see that blue box where the refs usually are?
I don't care where we are.
I don't care where we are.
Funny because John
Returning from half-time out in Alamein, and well, if you are wondering, we've had a couple of technical difficulties towards the end of this first half. We've had to relocate where we bring you the second half of this game. Alamein were most hospitable, and we are most grateful to them for being able to broadcast this second half to you. Alamein lead 2-0, so Lasky at the double, the difference maker. A couple of changes for Preston at the break. Both Holly Massey and Krista Malloy put into the game for a Lions side who are chasing a result on the road and have got a bit of a mountain to climb. Malloy's been out for quite some time with an extensive injury. Put it to the test last week. This may be a more lengthy run out, just to see how she holds up. Freya Duffy is one of the substitutes to make way. Preston have themselves a corner within a matter of second half seconds. If they are to get on the long walk back into this game, start with Dewey's take. Complete chaos in the area. It was cleared away from Yamada and then sent over by Medwin, who got a lot of it, though just couldn't quite keep it down.
Again, just want a big shout out to Alamein, President Kathy, for helping us relocate, organising everything. Gordon, who helped us carry and move stuff. It's a bit different, Ethan, commentating down here. We're around the masses. Commentating about, you don't want to upset any of the parents. Boyfriends, girlfriends.
Stazopoulos went to drive forward. Steered on by Dustin for Archdeacon. Massey got in. One of those two changes. Preston bring on Krista Malloy, bring on a Kiwi and someone from out in England. And no doubt families of both of them will be watching this evening or this afternoon.
Holly Massey wanted to give a shout out to her dad who'd be watching, so hi to Holly's father back in England. Holly brings a lot of energy and determination to Nassau, so probably exactly what Preston needs at this moment.
Arguably the perfect thing to wake up to back home. It's just beyond 7:10 over in London, back in the UK. Preston will be hoping she can make a massive difference and get them right back into this game. Unable to drop it off for Massey. Archdeacon did well, got it back from Blissett. Chelsea Blissett patient. Filipovic in retreat, now Lasky. He was happy to drop it off for Tom's wedge. We saw quite a patient approach, really. Tempo completely shifted towards the end of the first half as Shadara went searching. Good take from Lasky, set for Runnels to drive. And where Rorison was watchful, she needn't intervene.
Again, Tom's wedge and Shadara just controlling the tempo, how Alamein are playing. Blissett has had a really dominating game with Lasky, and Runnels just with her is yet again making it dangerous for Preston every time she's in and around the box with the ball.
Templeman just came out to smartly gather. The area was lurking. In case of any sort of fumble, that's good footwork from Brugias. Anastasiopoulos was swarmed on by two. Popovic got a foot in. Dewey kept it rolling and clipped it tidily for Iaria, who had Archdeacon in retreats. Two waiting in the middle, neither of whom she could find. And for Preston side, who in the first half were slightly conservative in the way that they went forward, this is a much brighter beginning to their second 45.
Without doubt, Ethan, Preston have come out playing a little bit more direct, and they've got far more energy. Coach Josip's probably had a little bit of a chat with them and sort of explained that positions are up for grabs for next week if we don't see a better effort. And having players such as Massey and Malloy come out with their experience and determination, I think they're great leaders, and we're seeing a little bit of that currently.
Preston were hoping it bears dividends. Bujas was swarmed on, and now an opportunity for Matsumoto. Steered on for Massey. Shidara came across the block. Iaria picked up on it and shifted sharply. Before meeting Bujas, who slid in well. Important afternoon for both this. Preston starting the second half brighter. Massey went to whip it. Good flick from Shidara. Templeman will chase in vain, and it will be a Preston corner.
Maybe with all this momentum Preston has currently, Ethan, this could be the start of something. They get a goal here, gives them a lot of self-belief. The changes at half-time made by the coach look like they're paying off as the ball's being whipped in now.
Corner was drilled in low and almost for Yamada, found its way all the way through. Filipovic cleverly for Dewey, cleared away by Shidara. Filipovic had a drive. Just had a couple of looks at the start of this second half. It's been uncomfy for Alamein. That an awkward delivery to deal with. No, they are outstanding. Chase a ninth league clean sheets today, majority of which have come here. Have proven most robust on their own patch. Ronald's got a flick. Flicked it tidely on for Blissett. Slid it for Samalaski. And she spun Harrington sharply. And two arriving. Ronald's at the back post. He will get on the chase to keep it alive. No, won't quite be able to.
Wonderful transition, long goal kick, something that they've done for a long time, making sure Runnels is their target. Lovely head up onto Lasky. Lasky gives it out to Senol Lasky, and the cross was a little bit deep because Runnels was completely unmarked at the back stick, so we could have seen another goal, but we don't, as we see Massey working hard here for Preston.
Massey did well. Likewise, Popovic, who steered it on for Iaria, who has got room to roam in. Shidara in retreats. Templeman at the near post got the angle right. That is where they've been able to find some joy for themselves at the start of this second half. Really look to release Fiorina Iaria as much as possible. Clipped on for Dewey, who got up over Archdeacon. Massey, that's a glorious clip. Matsumoto had to hold off Tom's wedge. Moved it for Iaria, and Massey on the arrival. They are getting opportunities.
It seems, Ethan, this now commentary side of the pitch, or the coaching side of the pitch as well, the action has been taking place all game. Lasky and Blissett tearing it up on this side of the pitch, and now we've got Fiorina Iaria just doing some fantastic work, and to be fair, I probably expect a bit more from the Melbourne Victory product.
He had a drive, and again it needed intervention. Anastasopoulos got in well, and Ralph returned it kindly. Anastasopoulos on the drive, two up with her. And Yamada in retreat. Anastasopoulos in the end was in with far too much force and gave away a free kick. Just a little bit of Preston displeasure at the time that took for it to be returned. Good flick on by Massey. Aria had one to chase. Shadara came across.
Ethan, Melbourne City have pulled back a goal at Keilor Park Recreational Reserve. Keilor Park 2, Melbourne City 1 after 57 minutes.
Now halfway back, and one that could have some implication on the gap to Preston on afternoon's end. Let's get one more. If it stays as is, it will be ground gained. And we'll be chipping away, just in order to ramp up the relegation pressure. As Massey trying to dance beyond Dustin and couldn't. Just got a foot in at a good time. Taken over by Medwin, cleared by Bugias. They're further than Massey. On for Dewey. Popovic. Good read from Shidara. Reynolds had dropped off to lend a hand. Preston crashing through, and always was asking a bit of Anastasopoulos. Preston must make good on this momentum. Can ill afford to squander a good start. Can make things nervy. The Alamein side, who have not necessarily shown the mileage from that cup quarter-final yet. They were meant to work the last time they were here against Melbourne City. They too went 2 up in quick succession in that game. Before a late surge, they got City a point on that day. Preston will be hoping to give themselves as much time if they are to get one back. Now here is Ralph. Reynolds was on the charge. Armada came sliding through. Reynolds is in a hurry. That's because Ralph made a tidy run. Dewey intervenes. Away once more by Popovic. And Medwin made sure.
Just the banter and talk between the Preston players is just so much louder now. They're far more positive, and it's reflecting the way they're playing. They're putting Templeman in the Alamein goal under a bit of pressure, and it just continues, the momentum where if they do get a goal, I'll tell you what, it will be exactly game on.
Split out for Iaria, who had Bugias in retreat, flicked it across, and it needed a palm from Templeman. Iaria once again causing the issue, and Preston have got themselves another corner. Yet another opportunity to halve the deficit, to get themselves right back into this game. It's a good battle from Massey once more. Likewise, Filipovic, who takes. Drill to the near post. The flick on was a good one. Reynolds intervened. Shut the handball waved away. Set back by Filipovic, and Templeman this time with a good gather. Just for a second, Matsumoto had a break her way. We have got Alamein in some distress at the start of this second half. Lasky, Reynolds wanting to take the sting out of it. Tidy footwork wins a free kick, which she will take quickly. And that is because she had Lasky and Blissett both charging. And as Blissett went to go, Harrington came across.
Lasky and Blissett have been quite the dynamic duo, as we see Holly Massey getting a yellow card from referee Daphne. And a little bit of maybe entertaining language or something along those lines during the yellow card. But no, Preston need to capitalise on this momentum they have, because sadly, if Alamein do score and it goes to 3, I can't see this scoring 3 or 4 today to pinch any points here at Dorothy Bay.
First booking of the afternoon for Daphne Ganaris. Massey, who subbed on a half time, just has to be a little bit cautious, and is immediately back in the battle with Reynolds. But from the area, couldn't really find her. And having seen off the storm, now wanting to go strike the third in time. Ralph gave Bugias an option at last. He then got away from the area. Went through too far to go beyond. Stasopoulos made a menace. Reynolds worked to yards. And won a corner.
Well done, Reynolds! Keep it up!
Game formed a bit scrappy at the start of this second half. They'd have had a couple of Preston set pieces to defend. They now have one of their own. Congregation right at the top of the area. Chelsea Blissett's take into a dangerous area. Lasky was lurking, and Lasky had one and then two goes. Renorison was equal to it. Lasky still chasing a hat-trick. First off difference maker. Bugias up ahead of Dustin. They nearly got in a muddle. Popovic, Iaria, beyond Bugias. Not Dustin who dropped in. Archdeacon returned it. And got a late clip from Massey, who's just got to be a little bit cautious.
Referee Daphne's is having a chat to Holly Massey, but I think you're exactly right. And she's brought a lot of energy to the Preston Lions squad, but it's not a great help if you're down to 10 players and 2 yellow cards in under 20 minutes. Some sort of record would emerge. Preston just seem to have, as you said before, not quite rattled, but just putting a lot of pressure on them that they weren't able to generate that first half. As again, we see Preston in a wonderful attacking situation.
Have themselves a free kick. It's more an opportunity to siege an Alamein defence that have had a bit to do at the start of this second half. Filipovic's take. Set short for Sian Dewey. With depth. Templeman uncertain. It was awkward. Been away by Bugias. Stasopoulos unable to help it on. Malloy. Again, direct for Massey. This time Templeman with a much calmer claim. And a good bit of judgment. Has been equal to everything so far around Templeman. Forced into her first real couple of saves at the start of the second half. That initial claim a bit awkward for her. Could so easily have fell, fortuitously for Preston. A couple who were lurking. Harrison went long. Now Lasky, who had two to beat. So with an opportunity, Lasky again encased by Reds and wins a free kick.
Gilmore Park has scored their third goal, and Gilmore Park Recreation Reserve to be 3-1 versus Melbourne City after 66 minutes. Alamein, I think, just to calm everyone's nerves, he just needs that third goal, which is going to bed. Right at the moment, Preston are coming really hard, and they look the most likely to score.
They are causing a problem. As Templeman again was measured enough. Matsumoto was looking to charge. It's had a quiet afternoon. There's now Matsumoto. Only an opportunity in the first half. Second has seen flashes. Good read by Harrington. Got away from Lasky. Now Matsumoto on a yard on Dustin. Filipovic to steer it for Massey. Blissett will see it out of play. Templeman. It's the start of a quite important run, really. Alamein, we said today, could be season-defining. That is because the fixtures to follow are quite tricky. Heidelberg next, out at Olympic Village before South Melbourne, Box Hill and Boroondara in 3 successive weeks. So round out July into start August. That in and of itself a really tricky test of the trio of fixtures. Travel to Spring Hills. It's a month that will test the mettle of this side, who no longer have cup commitment to worry about. There's Lasky. Put it out for Blissett, who thought about it momentarily and then skipped beyond Harrington. And only as far as Archdeacon, who recovered. Dustin lost out to Massey. And was refound by Dewey. Iaria is making ground, and making ground rather quickly. Bujiasin retreats. Iaria still driving and flashed her effort wide of the far post. Nearly a solo special. And still Preston are in search of a goal to get them right back into it.
Heading into the 67th minute, a goal there by Fiorina by Iaria would have really put the pressure back on Alamein. About playing midweek, playing a game for 120 minutes out of the home Matildas versus the Royals. It's strange. You don't feel sore when you've got to push in a couple of goals, but if it's 2-1 and the opposition coming hard at you, as Preston are now, suddenly those little niggles, the soreness, the tiredness kicks in again as Preston go forward.
Iaria found Matsumoto, got a deflection. And have themselves another corner. Time not yet a factor, though. One eye might starting to be turned to the clock. If they are to make a lunge at this, will need to come soon.
Back yourselves, Alamein! Be strong!
Massey's take to the near post. Filipovic interested. Templeman spilled. And in the chaos that ensued, Stem went to go and gather it. Once more, though. Ball into the area is testing for Templeman. A couple in this second half that she's not been able to gather as she wished. Harrington looked further forward. Tom's wedge got in the way. Lunging was at Blissett to keep it alive, which he did so. Deacon on for Lasky, who evaded Filipovic. Stayed no further than Yamada. He was under pressure from Anastasopoulos and evaded well. Bujias, Massey got a foot in. Shidara, all the way to Iaria. All for Massey. Sized up Shidara, deflection took the sting out of it and allowed Templeman to gather without much fuss. And for Preston too. Important set of fixtures coming up for them as this looks to be a bit of a concern for Miranda Templeman. Alamein for the first time this afternoon have got a real problem.
I think Miranda Templeman is the victim of her own bravery in that corner. The ball's like a pinball popping around. She put her own body at risk for the benefit of her team and jumped on the ball, which accidentally copped a boot there as we see both teams staying on the pitch but heading towards their respective coaches' boxes to grab some instructions, grab something to drink, some hydration. I'll be shocked to hear that Alamein heading towards 70 minutes don't make a change soon, because we've got some decent players on the bench that had a really tough week after playing that game for 120 minutes. Surely to make some changes would give them just a bit of energy, just a bit of a burst, because right at the moment Preston haven't scored yet, but they're the most likely to win. Every time the Fiorina or Iaria gets the ball, she's looking dangerous, and Preston are playing Route 1 football. They're just trying to get it to her every possible chance they can get. And if you give someone of her class enough opportunity, she will score one. And you don't want to be 2-1 with 5 or 6 minutes to go, as we see Olivia Edwards, fresh back from the World Cup, watching the Socceroos coming onto the pitch for Preston, and she's going into the centre back role out wide, actually, with Sunny Lusky and Blizzard on that side of the pitch. Not as dominant as they were in that first half.
This Sian Dewey to make way. Preston do make that change, and one time over in the States following the Socceroos, who's had an unfortunate moment this morning, to put it bluntly. Particular run, 32 and no further. They're not charted territory against Egypt today, but it's not to be for Australia. And at the moment for Preston, it is not to be either. Something is to change. Still have time to rescue themselves. And a saviour will need to arise soon. Cross, flicked on by Archdeacon. Blissett, in attempt to keep it alive, wasn't able to. As Massey, Shidara's in retreat. Samoto again was causing menace. This time Shidara was able to see it out without too much fuss. Just been able in this second half, Matsumoto, to get between the fullback and the centre half a bit more. That's where they've caused a lot of problems, Preston.
The viewers had just switched on from half time. You wouldn't think it was a 2-0 score on the way Preston had fought back in the second half, but without the reward of that goal, you'll see their energy slow. Alamein play a little bit more defensively. Again, Preston charging into the box.
The area beyond Bugias, and gave it a good hit. That was not too far away. Just worked the yard well. Didn't have the dip it required to trouble Templeman, though. It was bending. Preston again, close but not close enough. Alamein have the clean sheet intact, though they are clinging on to it at the moment. It's got a foot in. Couldn't find Popovic. Massey took over. And just down to beyond Dustin delightfully. Clipped it for Harrington. And Chase was able to keep it alive. Blissett came across. The ball had gone beyond by the time she got there. Played with a lot more invention in the second half, Preston, who still searching for a way to rekindle some form and finish this season as strongly as possible. They're not out of danger just yet. And the following fixtures, not necessarily kind. Home to Bulleen before going to Boroondara and Avondale, and then possibly the most crucial pair of home fixtures for their season to close July and begin August. Keeble Park and Melbourne City. Both of which, if they are to gain 3 points, will feel like 6 from them. Is on their search for safety. That's glorious from Runnels. Ball on from Dustin. Lasky will go beyond. Blissett will make it work. Archdeacon's got many a yard. Gets it once more. Looks to go at, but teasingly to the near post. Runnels then collided with Rahorison. It was a collision that had quite a lot of heaviness to it.
Yeah, you just don't like to see things like this, Ethan, at all. Both players' eyes for the ball, both players going hard. I do believe Chris Malloy, who's the centre-back for Preston, is medical person. I'm sure she's physio or a nurse, so she's there tending to Charlotte, the goalkeeper for Preston. And we've got posted to medical teams out there. But again, it's not something you want to see. If there are any family watching, they've both been looked after with some good medical care, and I hope that both of them are all right and can continue. You don't want to see head clashes because concussion is such a prevalent thing. But just to go back to the game, Ethan, I'm still a little bit staggered, to be honest, that we haven't seen any changes or movement from John Gurgos and his Alamein bench. I thought they may have made some substitutions, particularly those players playing 120 minutes. We might actually be seeing one now as they're heading into the fourth official with some paperwork.
Alamein maybe bringing a change of their own. Preston might be forced into one out of necessity rather than want. Harrison is thankfully back on her feet. And Runnels is not quite yet. She may be feeling a little worse for wear and finds herself in the book as well. And as for Preston, Amelia Kibble is getting ready. Harrison looks set to continue for now. But there is no doubt they will monitor that most closely. Changes being prepped for Alamein. Harriet Lowry is the one introduced in the afternoon for Chelsea Blissett, who's had quite a day, comes to an end. A very good patch of joy down the left-hand side, linked up well with Lasky in the first half. Runnels are waiting to be waved back on, so Alamein for the time being down to 10. Thankfully for Harrison, it seems to be okay to continue. Yamada. It all for Nedwin. Clipped in the channel. Shadara will see it back for Templeman, and now Runnels is waved back on. So both back to the full ensemble. Alamein finally do go to that bench, maybe, just maybe. Signs were starting to show that they too were feeling midweek commitments. Popovic looks to steer further forward, and then we'll go and regather it. Massey shifted beyond Dustin, though not beyond Runnels. Who again goes at Massey and loses out this time. Massey had a yards. Templeman had good sight and a good gather. Will be the thing done for Chelsea Blissett, who came on just before the hour mark in the cup in midweek. So plenty of minutes, mileage in her legs in the last 7 days. Starzopoulos to go around Medwin and couldn't. Preston having had quite a good start to the second half. I've just since seen that stall a touch. And then created a couple of opportunities. Nothing too clearly cut. No. Deacon steered it on for Runnels. Away from Popovic and Filipovic. Got it back from Ralph. Runnels will have a drive. Morrison will get a comfy first gather.
With 80 minutes gone now, Ethan, you would think Preston would start looking to play beyond, a bit more direct, because if they don't score a goal, I think in the next 5 or 6 minutes, they may score, but it'll be only 2-1. And Alamein shut the game down right at the moment. Determination's working, as we see, and the ball back in their attacking third.
Anastarzopoulos way beyond Medwin. Couldn't clear further than Archdeacon, who returned it for Anastasopoulos. Shot for a penalty waved away. So Bugias the one to cut off the clearance. Massey is there to make things difficult. So on for Priya Archdeacon, who couldn't get beyond Popovic. And now Filipovic. Harrington in many yards. And she spun Lowry rather well. Harrington looked to thread into the path of Matsumoto. And Templeman came through once again to judge rather well. Just in the nick of time, actually. Sent it long for Ralph. Lasky and Edwards entangled. Lasky wins a free kick.
Even with the floodlights on here at Dorothy Labour Reserve, it's getting fairly dull. You can avoid the rain, which is fantastic. But Preston can't score or concede here. That's the 3 points given to Alamein, and Alamein are doing extremely well just to stymie the attacking momentum that Preston's had. I think a lot of that momentum's been because of Holly Massey since she's come on the pitch at half time. Just her determination, her absolute will to win, and just the encouragement on the pitch to all players. In the red has made a dramatic difference.
And time for another change for Alamein to go to the bench. And Krzyzewski introduced in a Ralph's afternoon. Comes to its close in the final 10 minutes. Simply sending them on to see it through. Stevens flick on. Benefiting Matsumoto. Touch from the area, which will benefit Massey. And she is away from Bugias. Massey will drive it, and drive it just wide of the post. Preston thought they had their opening. Massey streamed away. Once again, they just have not been able to find that finishing touch.
Wonderful movement by Preston. Medwin's working really hard on the commentary side of the pitch. And Holly Massey just ghosted into the box, and if it had been on target, to be fair, it would have set up a scintillating last few minutes of this match. But sadly for Preston, 3 or 4 chances they had, they just either found wonderful goalkeeping by Miranda Templeman, or just hit wide of the back stick.
Stiliaria wants to cause problems. Plentiful time if they are to get one back. Nodded away by Tom's wedge. For Alamein, this is a situation they know all too well, especially at home this season. Only an occasion where they have simply had to shut a game down in the final 10 minutes. Edwards' long throw. Nodded away by Dustin. For Anastasopoulos, whose flick was tidy. She got it back from Runnels. And now has got runners. Krzyzewski. And a shift away from Medwin. Speared it on superbly for Archdeacon. So back for Runnels, who had 3 in the area. Arriving was Dustin. Massey was close by. Runnels with whip. Lasky worked to yards. Wasn't able to apply the touch she wanted.
Just the squad that they've assembled here at Alamein, Coach John Burgess has done really well. Most of his players, even the players on the bench, have a lot of pace. And pace is such a weapon in sport nowadays that it's really made it hard for Preston, as we see again Harrington attacking down the right-hand side of the pitch.
It's starting to become now or never. If there is to be a late Preston lunge to go and split the points, to go and pinch something. Popovic, Filipovic, Yamada. Now Malloy is invited to drive. Massey dropped off. Massey just worked a yard. Waited on the movement of Matsumoto. Wide for Harrington. Edwards delivered, and Templeman plucked it without much fuss.
Alamein, team to go!
Final ball has just eluded them throughout the second half. Not a bad ball in by Olivia Edwards. He needs to provide a run. On this time, Filipovic got a foot in. And further from Archdeacon and Malloy. Popovic. Preston Malloy once more. Preston might have to start to force things. Matsumoto. Filipovic. To find Harrington tidily. A good slide from Lowry, who was then dragged back and wins a free kick.
Surely it's a little bit of now or never for Preston. I'm surprised they haven't gone to a back three, Ethan, and pushed numbers forward. Even thrown Olivia Edwards forward as a target player up as a 9, because at the moment, as you rightly said, it's that final pass into the attacking curve that's really hurting Preston. And you could nearly say this is completely a game of two halves. The first half, Alamein was in complete control and dominated the game. In the second half, James has been an absolute battle. And there's so many jewels all over the ground. It's fantastic to see.
There's a foul throw from Massey. After she battled with Runnels again, those two have certainly not shied away in this second half. Massey has done her most to enact change. Well, Preston has come closest. Aaron and Aria have been a thorn in the Alamein side, without being able to pierce through. Time very much a factor now. You wonder how much will be added on. It's a lengthy stoppage. And that no doubt is a conversation that is going down on the touchline. Perhaps another change being prepped as well. It's Popovic, couldn't steer it for Edwards. They are running out of time. Then in of itself runs out of light. Alamein won't mind this. Far from yet another clean sheet here. Far from 3 points that, all things considered, takes them back above Burundara, who have got South Melbourne tomorrow. An all-important game in how the top 6 will look come the weekend's end. He could provide a shock. Ronald's got a flick on.
Hey, right
through.
Next one. Beautiful.
To go and claim it was for Harrison. Harrison's taking that rather heavy knockers. Showed no sign of it. Shidara under pressure from Massey. Templeman anywhere will do. Ronalds will make it work and then give it away to Popovic. That's got Archdeacon the driver. See Bugias battle. And the touchline will beat both, and there will be another change, which we'll just have to wait momentarily. Duo of substitutes getting ready. Satara Kasimi and O'Brien both awaiting their introduction as Bugias again battled with Massey and did well to prevent the corner.
I think we're going to see some potential changes here, more for game management, smart coaching by John Gurgos, the Alamein coach, just to slow the game down. The ball deep in the corner, you won't look to make the changes straight away. The players are both waiting at the half line. It'll be interesting to see what he does, because it's hard if you're coming as a defender in the last few minutes. You don't want to put someone on who's a bit cold against this attack from Preston. That's, to be fair, been fairly dominant. They just failed getting that last pass into a position beat Miranda Templeman.
That may be the story of their afternoon, as we, in and of ourselves, are heading to 6 minutes of stoppage time. And there are those changes. In fact, a trio for Alamein are getting ready. The day of Emma Runnels comes to an end. Bola Martinico as well. Another change being prepared. Anastasopoulos has worked tirelessly. As has Bugias, who has once again led this side rather well today. A trio of changes, all of whom featured heavily in the week. Double shift for them coming to a close. So Cassimi, O'Brien and Martinico to close out. 6 minutes for Preston to find 2. For Alamein to simply see out what for them would be a 3 points of some magnitude at this stage of the season. Back into the top 6. They would heap the pressure on Borough tomorrow, who have got a tricky test. Decide who they then go on and meet in about a month's time. Iaria nearly had it break for her. Awkward one to deal with. For Martinico, Iaria still going. Massey in a muddle. Still they can't clear. And the effort from Medwin found its way over the bar. Through a crowd of blue, and there will be a Preston change too now. There's Victoria Momirovski will enter, and that strike over the bar will be Amy Medwin's final act of the afternoon. And the other card issued as well. For good measure. Relief for Priya Archdeacon. And they know they are nearly there. This half has been a battle. Damage was done really prior to half time. Preston still looking to cause some late discomfort, maybe on Deadwoods. Was recovered in the end by Momirovski. This is it though for Preston. Still, they cannot find a way through whatsoever.
Ethan, you're exactly right. It was the first 16 minutes where they scored. Sunderland scored in the 5th minute, scored in the 16th minute, and the game remains the same. That's where the game was won and lost in many aspects. Yes, a far superior effort by Preston, and were great. Very largely on the back of Holly Massey, but sadly I think the game's gone and 3 points to Alamein.
Preston have a late corner, swung to the near post, and it got itself clear. Massey to reset, breeze beyond Cassimi, and away from another. Brian came across the block in the nick of time. Preston won a handball. They thought Lasky had it flick up and strike an arm. That appeal waved away. They were adamant. Edwards let it run where he came through. Cassini's chase in vain to keep it alive. No, it is not to be. The cup final 4 place for Alamein this season. You get the feeling, if that means they fall into the finals come season end, they won't mind one bit. Under it, Archdeacon nodded it on for Lasky, who has been the difference maker. Roy got a foot in, helped away by Popovic, no further than Lowry. Cassimi. And Edwards to go at. Still back for Archdeacon, and they are simply soaking the seconds. Lowry will find the corner. And it will take 3 to get a foot in. Lasky's turn now. Lasky warding off Momirovski, who was in firmly. Nice roll of the dice. Maybe even if it is only for Preston to pinch something. To track themselves a goal back in this game. It's a bit long for Massey, who, try as she might, closest to making a difference in this second half. Malloy's ball long. Templeman will see it out for a goal kick. And they know they're nearly there.
Fantastic game management by Miranda Templeman. Feigned to pick up the ball, let it go out for the goal kick to slow the game down again. And listen, wonderful, well-won 3 points here by Alamein. Yes, the second half hasn't been exactly pretty, but they fought well and they did all the hard work in that first 16 minutes to win the game. And Lasky and Blissett were on fire at that stage.
Iaria twisting and turning. Tried to spear it to the back post. That's well done by Momirovski. Filipovic. Got a foot in from Lowry. Filipovic helped it on. Will only find the goal kick. Keeler Park beats Melbourne City 3-1. So that's not a scoreline that will particularly damage Preston's survival hopes. City got something from that game. It might have caused for some alarm, though. Keeler Park steering themselves closer to safety. Speared long by Horrison. James Wedge's flick. Templeman will gather. And where it wasn't to be in the cup in midweek, that heartache is healed at the first time of asking for Alamein. Their first win in 3 in all competitions, and it is one that takes them right back in to the finals picture. They enter the top 6, and once more it is a dominant afternoon at Dorothy Labour West Reserve. Preston in the second half tried. They came closest through Massey on a pair of occasions. Those Sven were not able to find a way to trouble Alamein.
Congratulations to Alamein Angels. They did extremely well today. As mentioned many times, in the first 16 minutes where Lasky and Blissett put on a bit of a show. Lasky had a wonderful assist from Emma Runnels that she completed, beat Charlotte Van Horrison to score, and then the second goal again. A work of art. Well done to Alamein. 2-0. They were made to work extremely hard, even in the second half by Preston. Lions, Coach Josip, whatever he said at half time, and the changes he made, I think they definitely worked and made it a real contest. But sadly, their finishing was better. We could have had a 2-2 draw because apart from one corner that Alamein had where they nearly scored, they didn't have a lot of opportunities to go to 3-0. 2-0 is 2-0, and well done and congratulations to Alamein.
Dave, what could have been for Preston a day of what was for Alamein. So Lasky at the double, delivering the goods once again. We go back to the top 6. It could be a season-defining 3 points for them. Full time at Dorothy Labour West Reserve. It is Alamein 2, Preston 0.